Thank you for the introductions. My name is Pitupong Chaowakul from Supermachine Studio from Bangkok. My lecture title today will be Design from Everyday's Life. So let me introduce you a little bit about Supermachine Studios. We do some architectures, like small size architecture. This is a showroom house. Some interior designs. A music festival. And on a music festival, the robot. Some exhibition design. Some art installations, this one in Singapore. Some larger scale of architectures. And yeah, some renovations. These are the new projects that we do. But today I'm going to talk to you about 4 projects that we are doing that more or less illustrate the meanings of design from everyday life. So the first one would be the project that was introduced. It's called Habito. It's a co-working space plus artisan space in Bangkok. First, I want to talk a little bit about Habas. It started as a co-working space based in Bangkok back, I think, 8 years ago. So it started like that when a co-working space was just started in Asia. So 10 years passed, this co-working space typologies. Now we have plenty of this typology of space in important cities in Asia or in Europe. But I think co-working space is not only important as a space, but actually networking is the most important for co-working space. We were asked to do the second branch of Habas. So the first one, the one in the middle. Second one is the one in Siam Square. We did the third one pretty much in the community centers where you see this red line. Basically, it's a developer called Sansiri, one of the biggest developers in Thailand. They built like 5,000 units of condos. At the center, there's this community center filled up with F&Bs, this co-working space. If you guys go to Bangkok often, you would see this, the tangle wire. And this is somehow a very ironic concept where some of you were talking about the wireless society, the Internet of Things. But more and more every day, the more people using wireless device, Bangkok has more wire on the streets. And it's organized in such a way that you will be amazed sometimes. Like it's huge, it's like 4 meters by 4 meters. More and more that sometimes became aesthetic. So we thought, why can't we incorporate the M&Es or why can't we perceive this system as a kind of aesthetic elements in the projects? Since the logos of the client, it's about networking anyways, why can't we expose the network that compose a physical space as well? So we were starting from extending the logos of the clients until it's eaten up all the space, 600 square meters space, 2 floors in the community centers, until the whole thing it's covered. So basically, if the mechanical engineer was doing this, they'll put all the wires into what is called wireway. But we take out piece by piece and put all of this wire singularly into the conduit lines, and we design the conduit itself. So the first floor is the cafe and the kitchen labs. The idea of the client is that they don't only provide a working space, but they'll provide art studio as well. So the residents in the condos will come to work as well as increase their art skills. So there'll be textile, the clay studios, and the dark room for photographies. And at the corners, conference room, meeting rooms. The conduits line, it's covering both of the floors. So it goes from the second floor to the first floor. And it's creating a different shapes and became different elements in the space. We painted in Vespa green. So it's covering the whole space from second floor to the first floor. On the right side, it's exhibition shelves, the cafes. This is the food lab. So there are like more than just working. It's like how they create the new livings. It's going up to the second floor, which is the co-working space. So the conduits, it's creating the lighting luminaires. This is the textile studios. clay studios, meeting rooms, dark rooms. And this is a conference corners. At the end of the day, I mean, everyone was so happy that the contractor was very happy as well, because people come in and say, oh, wow, they was never seen this complex M&E systems. Coming to the second project, this project is called BUSAC, or Bangkok University Student Activity Centers. This one is based in the north of Bangkok, so it's like 30 kilometers in the north of Bangkok. Our building is there at the pink corners. It's the building that's supposed to be holding a kind of different clubs. So the club for traditional Thai music, modern dance club, a photography studios, a rehearsal room for music, meeting studios, workshop for cutout paintings, some relaxed space, and one of the most important one, the pom-pom cheer gymnasiums. In the States, they went on and for the competitions, and they won the prize. So they won it over the US. The pom-pom cheer team is from Bangkok University. So this program has to be included into this projects. This building is a 30 years old female dormitories. Very weird column span is 3.6 by 3.6. It's abandoned because there was the Great Flood in Thailand. And you see the height of the water, it's 1.8 meter and 2 meters in some areas. And it stayed on for a month. This is the picture of myself in my office, and there's 5 centimeters of water flooded into my office for 3 weeks. This building, it's abandoned because of the flood. So the flood went into the building, basically the whole universities, and it has to stop for a month. The Thai spirits always stay on. During the floods, if you search from Google against Thai floods, most likely a lot of picture that you'll find is this sort of very creative Thai spirits. So this building is the same thing, so it shares the same spirits. Like it's abandoned, it's very weird, but somehow we try to inject a new creative spirit into the project. When we arrived at the project, the building was very weird. It looks like this. It's a 2 gable roof, and the lowest part of the roof is 1.8 meters, and there are like the rain gutters everywhere. Every 4 meters, there's these gutters. So how to inject life into the building that seems to be dying? Well, it's not dying, but it has died. How to inject the new life into the buildings? So the section of the building was like that. There was these 2 strange gables. So we turn up this strange gable roof up to the top, so it has more space for people to enjoy. And then at the end of the building, we have to knock some of the structure down and build the gym for the cheerleaders. And the project, first of all, is very low budget project. It's big project. It's almost 9,000 square meters, and we have only $1 million to renovate the whole thing. This is a very strange plan of the female dormitories. And what you see in the cross is the skylight courtyards, normally for the people that stay inside to bring natural light in and do their laundries. We know from the very beginning that we cannot build all new buildings, so we have to keep as much original structure as possible. So we try to operate with the original setting as possible, and we create new programs like the gym and the bigger meeting rooms and the bigger space for the music rehearsal and the dance club. So what we get was still very long buildings with a very long corridor in yellows. And instead of having 12 courtyards, we modify some of the courtyards, and we take out some of the courtyards to create a bigger program. So we have one big corridor of 4 courtyards in different colors. And you go inside and you find different types of activities. So that's during the constructions. You see how low budget we have. So we filled up some floors, and we filled up the windows, bringing more natural lights inside. And at the gym, we have to take down almost all the structures, but we have to keep the foundation for the floors, and we built the new steel structure to cover it because they have to throw themselves up to 16 meters. So this is the gable roof that turned up. When we do a renovation project, We want to let people know, the user knows that this one is the renovated project. It has the past life, and we're giving them the new life. So you can still see the old openings and the old balconies and some of the old windows. After the whole thing we cover with wood, a lot of the old elements are still there. How it's completed. Very long building. This is the 3 entrances from this side and this arrow side, and another entrance. And this is the entrance for the pom-pom cheer teams. This is the image that I took when I arrived. So you see these lines. So this is a watermark. During the flood, there's this water inside, like the whole thing. And you can imagine there's some floating stuff, like looks kind of spooky inside. So that's how it's finished. We splash the paint in because the paint is like one of the cheapest building materials that we can find. So it's all this yellow, vibrant colors. On the first floor is offices, and the second floor is the clubs. So what used to be laundry courtyards for drying underwears became a common space for people to relax and communicate with themselves. Oh, this is the first time that you can see this image. This screen is so good. So it's very dark. It used to be a very dark courtyard. Now it's a new one, the same courtyard. So we bring the lights in from underneath and also from the top. So that's one of the main entrances. So what you see here, the railing, it's the original railings. What we did, we just like tear down the corners and we put the net on top of it. So instead of just looking down, they can use the double space. So the second floor corridors became this kind of corridors. So the new staircase became kind of a clean staircase, and we just splashed the paint onto it. This is the furniture that are also like recycled from the previous life. We just repainted. So this is the image of the pom-pom cheer gym. So this is the cheerleaders team when they rehearse. So let's throw each other very high. So it's a 16 meters whole thing. Now, coming to the third project, this one is called SCB Academy, or Siam Commercial Bank Academies. Basically, it's a school for the oldest bank in Thailand, Siam Commercial Bank. You know that what happened to the banks, right? Like there's this invasions of e-money, I think the WeChat, Alipay, Bitcoin, and lately the Facebook currency, the Libra. So what you see in a lot of banks, I think it's happening here as well. Like they have to cut down the physical space and also the service that people, well, it used to be 20 years ago that the bank is a counter and there's a lot of people and giving a financial service to people, but now the thing has changed and the bank knows it. This is the Siam Commercial Bank headquarters built by a famous architect 20 years ago, a kind of postmodern time. They cut down 20,000 positions. And they want to do 3,000 square meter academies for the existing employees. So it's on the 18th floor and 19th floors in headquarters. So we started projects like from this art project that we used to do in Birmingham. It's called the Island Projects. When we think about the learning in the future, we think about the space that people can contribute to. Like we have a meeting rooms where people can contribute to the teaching and learning in different ways. So we did this project in 2007. It's the Artificial Thailand Islands. The island is called Tarutao Islands. We built this thing in England. The concept is like everyone has the right to contribute to these islands. Like everyone will be given a stickers, temples, elephants, road, and boat. And you can go to these artificial islands in the parties and you stick these elements onto the islands. So from the clean, natural elements, it depends on you how you create this environment. This one is called Lan, is Lan Islands. You see this built environments, you see the resorts, you see like different elements. So this one is Smith Islands, just right next to it. It's more or less national park. It's more clean. You can't see the resort from the top. So it pretty much depends on you, like how you contribute to your environment. So this is mainly the theme that we want to use in SCB academies. So that's how we want to do this project. So this is my fridge at home. I collect a lot of these silly magnets. So this project, we want to do decorative elements in the academies where people can contribute to the decoration. So there are 10,000 pieces of these magnets, and each of the magnets has a different graphics. It has road, planes, people, submarines. And it depends on how people create together the space. Like this one, it's a cities. So this is the entrance of the office. It's corporate, but somehow we want to incorporate these informalities into the space. So these are the plan. Each floor, it's 1,500 square meters. And it consists of a few classrooms, kind of open space, like co-working space for people to discuss work with the teachers. Another theme was like, you know Westworld. It's like the brain that's filled up with a labyrinth. Thinking is always like a labyrinth process. So there is these ceiling elements that cover the space. We want to incorporate like everyday life concepts in the projects. This is the pools of discuss. It's always about discussions, how you can get people to interact with each other. If you go to Thailand, on the streets, you always see graffitis. But it's not the same graffiti as in the US or in Europe. It's a graffiti created by the schools. You get a question. It's this kind of graffiti you see in here. This one is a Minburi school. This one is Techno Bangkok school. So with the pride of a member of the school, they paint the walls. For some reasons, they go around and they paint the walls. And you can see that in many of Thai streets. So we think we can create like some of the elements, like whiteboards that people can spill the ideas onto the walls and all their friends can see stuff on the floors. And that'll be next to the rooms where we also incorporate some of elements like wall climbings, like that. So when you really like get stuck in your ideas, you can like climb the walls in the bank. And this is the canteen space and the lockers. So there's always these different elements that we incorporate into the space. The last project is called 10 Cow Tower, or it's nicknamed the Labyrinth. It's situated 100 kilometers to the east of Thailand in the beach city called Bang San. We were asked 4 years ago to design a playground as part of a project for the biggest constructions material companies, Siam Cement Group, which has 100 years anniversary 5 years ago. And this is the original site, which has already the playground. It's a very weird concrete park jutting out to the sea. The location of our project is on the red dot you see. This project is meant to be a reflection of what's going on in the societies. So we were invited by these apps, like social apps like WhatsApp or Lines or Facebook, that even though we are close together in the same space, 90% of the people was just like in front of their screens and talking to someone else. Or you go to the dinner with your girlfriends, you are talking to other ones. So the more you're together, the less you're together. So that's the thing. So part of myself when I did the project was really to reflect that if you are together physically, you better be together, that kind of things. And the other thing, the second message was that when you go to the playground, and this playground elements is always too small. Instead of incorporate and letting adult and the kids meet each other, it's a space for the kids. So what will the adults that want to play with the kids do? They play with the telephones next to the kids. So it's even more the elements that separate the kids. Can we do a playground that brings people together, meeting again in the same space? And when we did the project, I was like crazy riding the bicycles to the top of the mountain. And when I go to the top of the mountain, what I see is this simple route that go down to one of the cliffs. And it's going up and down and let people, experience the different part of the trees. Then that's really the beginning of the ideas, how if the playground can be just a simple route that brings people together and they have different kind of experience in one space. And that's bring to another reference that somehow we want to really create, the picture of etchers, which is a little bit difficult to do in real life, but be kind of tempting. So at the end of the day, we go back to the client and we say, our playground is just a simple 1 meter staircase that going up 8 meters and down again with different routes where people can choose. And when they go up and down, they will spend 10 calories. So the nickname of the building, it's called 10 Cal Tower. This is a 3D print of the projects. This one is trying to mimic etchers things. You see that it's quite difficult to imitate. This is the diagram of how you can go up and down and spend 10 cal. Another. And then another. So you can see the different ways of how people can interpret, and they can use such a simple 1 meter route with a different branch. So that's really the main idea of the project. And of course, it's a cement company, so it's very cheap to use cement, so we go all the way with concrete. This is the models, the first models. We tried on the site. It took 1 year to build, like very difficult for the locals. So that's how the thing was completed. So it's a red, very simple staircase. Yeah, people sort of enjoy using it in a different ways. I was really scared at the beginning where you present this such a brutal structures. Well, we love brutal structure as an architect, but to present such a brutal structure for the kids and use it as a playground. This one is taken by myself at the very beginning, at the opening ceremonies. These are the first 2 kids that came to the playground. I say, uncle, is it open? Yes, it's open. Do we have to take out shoes? No, you don't have to take out shoes. So they just ran in right away. So then I got relief. So sometimes play can be very simple. I mean, basically, our intention is for parents and kids to play hide and seek in the labyrinth. And the actions of hide and seek is meaning you're trying to fight each other. You're trying to meet each other rather than going to some playground that has a very specific elements designed for you and you're being separated. All of the routes that go up the 10 Cal Tower, it's 1 meters. This one is only spatial one is 60 centimeters to signify that this is some part, it's for kids. So it's either you are the kids or you're very thin. You can go through this route. And people, of course, using this 10 Cal Tower in different ways. Some teenagers just go up and flirting each other and do some photographs. This one is an advertisement for the cars. This one is also pretty cool. Don't look too much. So think about it as something that was... I'll just go. Wait, I mean, this is too cool for our thing, right? Something that's meant to be a playground, at the end, it's beyond our imagination. So when we see this video clip, so we decided to make our own clip. Can I have some water? He lost? So that was our clip. Well, at the very end of my lectures, I mean, I have to say that I'm an architect, and sometimes I do a lot of interior designs, but what I enjoy is what people did with our projects. Like, the project is aimed for adults, it's aimed for different groups of people, but when people interact with it, it's always beyond your imaginations. Like, this bunch of people are having a picnic with somtam, a papaya salad and a lot of beers, using my project as a sort of just a shading, It's, they're just like there. So when we finish the projects, and there's an exhibition a year after, so we think a 10 cal probably too little, because we get stronger. So we think we can build another versions of the meeting space for the urban cities where it's denser. So we make another proposal for 50 cal tower. It's a 40-meter high towers. It's, again, pretty much the same things. It's, the thing is too big. It's the same thing. And this one is to say, well, in Bangkok, there's only shopping malls, and there's so little public space. What if we leave our mobile phones at home and we come out and we meet each other physically? So imagine we have 50 cal tower and it's placed differently in different locations in the big cities. It could be quite fun. So that's the end of my lecture. I just want to end with this clip, just let it run. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pitupong.